Yeah, you. Come here, I want to talk to you. What's up, guys? Welcome to the club where anybody's welcome and everybody can join. If you are new to the club, welcome. And if you have been here, thank you for coming back. I'm really appreciative that you clicked on this video, and I really hope you will join by subscribing and turning on the bell so that you don't miss any of our club meetings. So Monday, on the last video, I talked about suicide in a general sense. Today, I'm going to talk about, personally, my roots as to where it started, how it started, what specific things that I've done to combat those urges as I was going through the process, because there were certain areas throughout those 10 years that I discussed with you guys last time that things got worse, things got better, and then I had to make a decision, like, are you going to choose to live or choose to die? Like, which one is it going to be? For me, the root really started when I was in third grade. No, not third. Yeah, it really started when I was in third grade. But like I said, if you guys want like an in-depth, this is my suicide story, let me know, because I don't mind talking about it. So let's get into it. I can tell you what happened. I can definitely tell you, I can tell you what happened. I can tell you when it happened. I can even tell you, now that I'm older and now that I'm on the other side of it, why it happened. But to tell you the root is one thing. Me. Even though those people were wrong, and even though things happened and they were awful and I had to endure them, and this is what life does, and you know, all those sayings and truths, the fact of the matter is I didn't know how to handle what was happening inside of me and what was coming to me, if that makes sense. So what was happening outside of me that was affecting me. So that would be other people's opinions, parents, my extended family, teachers, people I thought were friends, church people, anybody really. Anybody outside of you, I let their opinions become my reality in my head. Honestly, I didn't know what to do. I was scared. Now that I look back, I was scared. I didn't know what to say to anybody. Like, well, how do you bring that up? What do you, there's no easy way to ease in telling somebody you feel a certain way about a certain thing, and that you're thinking about or have planned out how you want to take care of everything. There's no easy way to say that. So a lot of the times for me, I would just hold it. Not only would I not talk if you didn't ask, I wasn't talking if you did ask. I was shut down. I was what one of my favorite people, Iyanla Vanzant, she says, neck down dead. I was definitely like the heart, the soul, all that stuff definitely wasn't connected. I just wanted to fit in. I really wanted to fit in, and I was never the girl that fit in. I was raised differently than a lot of people. I was blessed and fortunate enough to come from a two-parent household in a culture in a community where that's not the norm. Also, suicide was the ultimate, for me personally, it was the ultimate way out. It beat sitting in a room all day staring at the walls. It beat not talking to people. It beat feeling like I was just messing everything up and screwing up everything. And at that time, for me, the easiest thing to do was just to go ahead and take care of it. So some of the things that really helped me when it came to dealing with suicide and overcoming suicide, I really took up journaling. I mean, I think for the most part, every girl kind of gets a diary, and you have the Dear Diary stage, and I went through that. But it wasn't something that I really invested in or really like took seriously until I'll say about 15. I started to kind of take it seriously, and I began to journal from what I wanted in my life to how I was feeling. It was a lot of feelings. There was a lot of, oh, this happened today and this is how I feel about it. So I really encourage journaling. It gives you an opportunity to dump out whatever you might be feeling, to dump out whatever is inside of you that you may not want, and so then you can look at it and see it. And there's no judgment, because it's really just you, and that it's just you and the paper. So you don't have to feel like you're talking to somebody or having to go bare your soul to someone. But that's always uncomfortable, let's be honest. Like, people talk about, oh, I like real conversation, but it's uncomfortable. I mean, the effects of having great conversation is great, but sometimes having to be vulnerable and feel like you're talking to somebody about yourself and they're seeing this emotional and mental nakedness that you have, it's like they see right through you. So at least with the journaling, you can just write it down and you can close the book and you can go to sleep or go do whatever you needed to do. Another thing was prayer and the word, and that doesn't necessarily mean you have to go buy like all these study journals or study Bibles and all that kind of stuff. I would recommend it, in general. As you're going through this and you're feeling how you feel and you have days that are, better or worse than the last one, that you are filling yourself and filling your mind with the word. When I say the word, I mean the Bible. If you are confused, I mean the word of God. Whether that means you're reading the Bible or you're listening to a sermon or you have some type of motivational thing that's related to the word. I have these little devotionals, like, I need to flip it for the day. But I have these devotionals. And when I was going through, these were really good because they were short. I did not want to sit there and read 20 years worth of, I'm not gonna front with y'all. I didn't want to read it. It wasn't happening. I wasn't in any type of headspace to receive it, nor was I in any type of mood to really read it. So having short little devotionals was great for me back then. I still read those to this day because it's one for every day of the year. Yeah, having some type of source where you get your word, where it feeds you spiritually, mentally, and emotionally is important. That's like so important. That's more important than journaling. Like making sure that what you're putting in can get rid of the stuff that you're dealing with. The other thing, oddly enough, was that I just had to take baby steps. And I do mean baby steps. If you're having suicidal urges, don't be so hard on yourself. No, it's a process. Give yourself grace. Give yourself time to get up and fall down and get up again. Give yourself the time to do that because it is just that. As long as it took you to get in that space, it's gonna take time to get out. It's like when you expect so much of yourself and then you don't live up to the expectation. It just makes whatever you were going through worse. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So give yourself little goals and stay committed to accomplishing those little goals. And as you accomplish those little goals, amp it up a little bit, challenge yourself. And before you know it, you'll be out of it. I promise you'll be out of it. The last thing that is also very important that I did was very simple, but very effective. And it's really not that simple. It sounds simple. I should say that. It sounds simple. The last thing is to realize that you have the power. Whether someone calls you out of your name or calls you a queen or a king, if there are any men listening to this, you have the power. You control how you see yourself. You control how you govern yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you think about yourself, all of those things. You control that. And just because someone who is twisted in their head comes and tells you something outside of their neck, that's their problem because that's their opinion. See how I did that? You can do that too. Amazing. It feels glorious to be able to say that. There was a time where I couldn't say that. Like, people told me how they felt about me and I'm just like, oh dang, that's what's going on? Like, I took it in. I ate it whole and didn't want to ask myself, well, is that even true? And of course, I have to mention this. If you need help, here is the number for you to call. And sometimes I know it can be scary. I know it can be frightening because when you get in that headspace, sometimes you aren't fully aware of what's happening. And so you just know you want the pain to be over, you want the suffering to be over, and you just want it to be over. But please know that taking your own life is not going to leave this world a better place. It is not going to be the thing that you want to do. I know that people are still going to do it. I know that I can't save everybody. I can't save anybody. Honestly, Jesus is the only one that can save. But I do want you all to know that I know how it feels. I feel your pain. I feel what it means when people say I've had enough. Listen, I want it to be over. I get it. I completely understand it. I remember telling one particular individual, just a little bit about my story, and she was kind of looking at me like, you're weak. Don't let anybody tell you that you're weak if you're dealing with suicidal urges. You're not weak. The fact that you're dealing with them makes you strong. Like, That's the thing that I don't understand. Just because I don't deal with it the way you deal with it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me or that something's wrong with you. It just means that I deal with it in a different way. But even in that different way, you have to learn how to deal with it in a healthy way and cope with it in a healthy way. So, but if you need help, ask for it, man. Ask for it. Like, there's no shame in asking for help. Matter of fact, the fact that you're asking for help means you have enough balls to ask. Because there are so many people that are walking around and they're just afraid, and fear can paralyze you. Fear can stop you from doing a whole bunch of stuff. So please, I beg you, do not let fear, don't let fear stop you from being your best self. And I promise you, this ain't her. This is not him. If you are dealing with it, this is not your best. This is not all that you have to offer the world, that you all have to offer to yourself, that you have to offer to your family. There is so much more inside of you. But when you need help, you gotta ask for the help, bro. So you gotta ask for the help when you need it. Like, forget what anybody else says about it. Forget what how people might be looking at you. Like, listen, you have to make sure you're straight. Okay? So I love you guys so much. This was actually a very therapeutic video for me to make because I haven't talked about this in a minute. You see, like, you stepped into my office, we talked, and now you can go on about your day. Well, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you have any other topics you'd like to talk about, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, turn on that bell so that you get a notification whenever we have more meetings. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I love y'all. Stay safe. I'm out.